And the intro.
Send it.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new and improved NFT Crypto Crew Studio.
Wow.
Come on. Guys, we just busted out for about 2 hours or so, getting the studio prepped, getting the cameras, the audio, the connector to the Rodecaster, the ability for Tyler to control the mechanics from his laptop. We did it. We're sipping on Sol.
It wasn't easy, but it worked.
It worked, guys. We're live here in studio.
And it's a blessing. I mean, we've been sitting, we've been trying to do these videos. We usually do these videos. We do them like pre-recorded. I'm on the back, really doing nothing. And we want to get the studio vibe going. We want to do regular podcasts. We want to get the content out. We're getting the content out regularly. We got probably 2 a week, but we want to get longer form podcasts, more talkative, more interactive, more social.
Something you can hang out with us. You can throw on in the background when you're just chilling at home. More of a podcast form thing. And now we got both of us on screen. It's given a better vibe of just that hangout vibe where you can really connect with us. So we're loving it.
Oh yeah, and plus we're bullish as usual.
And
so
plus
it's great news to share
and
today.
plus the market's moving. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, what are you thinking about when you wake up today? What are you thinking about Bitcoin?
I just love texting you and for those listening, we have a few friends who came along with us in the 2020 bull run. We got right into it ourselves around December 2020.
Yeah, around there.
So right before, I think it's May, it was 10,000. By December, it was 20. So probably May is around the time. May 2020 is when it kind of started for real. But we got the tail end, but we also got the bulk, right? We went all the way up twice, lived through it all. And so our friends still, for some reason, are not that interested in. I don't know what happened, but we had like maybe a group chat of 20 of us. And by the end of that cycle, there's only me and Garrett left.
Yeah, it's just you could see as during the run up, during the bull run, 40K Bitcoin, 50K Bitcoin, more and more people are getting added to the Crypto Boys chat. There's 8 people, there's 10 people, there's 15 people. And it's going crazy. Dogecoin, Shiba coin, Bitcoin done 60K all time. And then we start to crash down. We're at 35, 40K. Luna tanks the market. Now we're in the 20s.
That hurt.
And there's only 4 or 5 guys in there chatting still. Then boom, we get hit even harder. We're at the bottom now, and now it's just me and Tyler talking in there.
Yep. And the last thing we saw from anyone besides us, and there's like 20 people, keep in mind, is this GIF. Oh my God, we should bring this GIF. Can you bring that GIF up?
Let me see if I can find it.
It's just this GIF of a bear waving, saying hello. Like this is entering the bear market. It was the perfect end to that too. I think it's fitting that we bring this up because guess who we're getting texts from nowadays? I got a text from Greg today. He said, "You know what? You guys see ETH?" Yeah. I saw ETH.
Yep, that's Greg.
I've been seeing ETH.
It's this one.
See it here?
It wouldn't let me zoom in on it, but
sure. Let me do a little.
It was just this. Someone just sent this into the Crypto Boys, and we knew.
Oh, that was the great start to the bear market. we should send a gift to them of a bowl saying hello,
like just popping up. Yeah. No, but the great thing is, we're finally flipping bullish again.
Yeah, and we're drinking our soul here. I went to the liquor store and the guy goes. I go to the guy. I didn't want to waste any time because Garrett came a little early, so I didn't want him to wait outside. And I was getting some things for the studio here, and I go to this liquor store, and I go to this guy. I go right in. I go, hey, and this liquor store is like really the parking lot is legitimately like a drive-through almost. You have to get out and go in, but it's shaped in a way where you park your car quick, get in, get out. And so I go, I see this guy. First thing I say, you got the beer Sol? I need some Sol. The guy goes to me, I don't know what it is today, but everyone's been buying that. Everyone has been buying it. I'm out. You just missed it. This guy just left with this last pack of Sol. I go, well, it makes sense. It's pumping. It's up 17%, man.
He goes to get the beer. He goes, yeah, I need some Sol. The guy goes, I don't know, man. Everyone's been buying it. Everyone has been buying Sol. Because it's pumping up right now from this morning, $21 to it went over 25 today, 25 mid.
It's so relieving to have these days, and I'm not even really like desperate for it, but when it happens, you feel so much different. You know, you feel it's nostalgic in a way. Like you remember why you even got it. We went from the 2020 start till the very bottom and lost all of our friends' interest in it except ours, and we were just interested in it as it was. All the coins, the tech, the art, NFTs, everything was just so fascinating, and that whole ride down, we just doubled down, started the YouTube channel, did this, and it has been nothing but like great times. And then the money starts increasing. You're like, wow, this is actually why I even got into this, right? Like,
yeah, it's like a surreal feeling because we loved crypto, during that 2020 run up. Like who doesn't? We were all making money, and it was like all of our friends were hopping on board, and you could just throw $100 at any little any BS coin,
yeah,
and it's a pretty good chance it's gonna pump. But I feel like we really started to develop a stronger passion for the space throughout this past year and a half of bearishness.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to see, like, because our friends left, but there's so many people like those listening that, like, you crave content for this kind of stuff. And ourselves, me and Garrett, we listen to content every day about this kind of stuff, and you just want to share it with some of your close friends. You want to share it with your family and stuff, but it's never going to be that way. At least not now. Maybe it will be in the future where, you're not afraid of upsetting someone at Thanksgiving dinner, convincing them to buy Bitcoin at the absolute peak top. But
it's tough to sit there and get into the minutia of it with your everyday person. They got to really be, especially at the bear market right now.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to convince your normie friends when price go up, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin 20K, 30K, 40K. They buy at 40K. Now it goes 50K. It makes sense for a normie, but at this point, who's still here? Just straight up builders and diehard crypto fans.
Only people like the ones listening, and the only people here actually care about it and want to see it succeed.
I mean, you look at the Luna, you look at the charts, you look at FTX recently. I mean, you look like almost like a crazy person talking about this at Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Going, this is why. Well, look, you should see what you got to see what the trait swapper, the bad cats put out. I mean, it's some revolutionary tech here. You can change the data on the blockchain. Like,
I'm just trying to get my mom to buy like 0.5% of her net worth, and she's retired.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just get her to do something in crypto.
Something in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, anything. And, just do such an insignificant amount for you, as your personal wealth, that you at least have some skin in the game where you're interested in watching the price and then potentially learning.
Then you teach yourself about it, yeah.
Why it's even more valuable. Why is the price that way? Why is it valuable? And it's funny because when we get in these texts lately, Greg's like, oh, yeah, you see ETH? Yeah, I saw ETH. And you know what happened? The last text I got from this guy, it was when they were at the absolute top, and Elon Musk.
Oh, my God.
Elon Musk is on SNL, and this guy texts me. He goes, hey, I'm going to buy some Doge tonight on SNL, but I don't have an exchange that offers it. Do you mind if I give you the cash? You can buy it for me. I said, yeah, I have an exchange. He sent me ETH at the time. About $1,000. I think he paid $400 in gas or something crazy to get delivered.
The gas must have been ludicrous.
It was
at that
ludicrous
time.
at
That was literally day was the top of Dogecoin.
That was the top. the SNL, Dogecoin, Elon Musk.
So Greg, he comes to, and I remember him saying it too. He goes, "You guys heard they're gonna make a Dogecoin joke on SNL tomorrow."
Oh, he was leading everyone. Like on Twitter was talking about. Obviously, he was one in person talking about that as much as he could.
He kept talking about it just in person, and I'm thinking, okay, how many people watch SNL? And how many of them are going to pull out an exchange? You couldn't even find an exchange to get Doge on. You think they're going to go to some random exchange, buy ETH, convert it to Doge, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to have to do that after hearing a joke about it. It's already got so much money flowing. The graph was like this. It was ridiculous.
It was a brick wall you ran into. And the thing was, it's not like you could. I think you could get Doge at Coinbase, but he had some authentication issue or some crap, so he couldn't get to a point where he could actually purchase it
in time. Yeah.
For the performance of that.
Yeah, they held his funds for like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, something like that. And so the funny part was he sent me like 1,000 ETH. He spent he spent an egregious amount. I want to say 30 or 40% in gas. And then I bought the top of Doge for him in that ETH, converted it to Tether. That slippage between Tether and ETH was a minimal, but it still had some slippage. And then we purchased Doge with the Tether that we sold for the ETH, and that had some slippage as well.
So he sent you $1,000. He got $500 or so worth of Doge.
About 500 to 600.
600 worth of Doge.
And keep in mind, this is at the top. And it went from 70 cents to what it was to like 50 to, I don't remember.
It's at 8 cents now.
At the point being, though, it dropped so significantly, he ended up, because I sent him back in ETH that night, because he wanted it that night, of course. And he couldn't do Doge because he had no exchange that accepted Doge. So he only accepted ETH. He told me to sell it. I sold it. The ETH that he had.
Well,
the Doge.
Like a few days later.
Yep, for Tether, and then I bought ETH for him and sent the ETH back. 8 more gas fees in that ETH.
He got what did he get
lost
back?
He got 95% in one night.
He got like $70 back worth of ETH. I mean, this guy is so. I couldn't have done this if I tried.
Yeah,
I couldn't have timed it. If my goal was to try to buy the tippy top of Doge, I couldn't have done it as well as this guy.
No,
this guy is so good at blowing through money.
And not only that, now he's our top signal. We ask him occasionally. We're a group chat with him only now, just to get a response. And we text, "Are you bullish?" He goes, "Yeah, but I knew where to sell."
This guy is a great top signal. And now looking back, it's like, okay, the market cap of Doge at the time was what? Hundreds of billions?
Yeah, it was what was it? It was a lot.
Right now it
was 72 cents. So
right now it's 11 billion.
And it's at 8, so it's about 9. It's about almost 100 billion
so
at that time.
So $100 billion
could have been 90 to 100
give or take is the market cap of Doge. How many people watch SNL? Couple million?
Few million, yeah.
And what percent? And if 5% of them decide to buy Doge, the whales are selling, guys.
They're not spending the time to have Elon Musk going on.
I mean,
on TV.
I'm not like a chart. I'm not a chart guy, but a lot of people were saying $1 Doge, $1 Doge.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was thinking 70, 80 cents.
And I was even interested to know. I mean, I had no idea what on top was, but everyone was saying 100,000 Bitcoin too, and I still think it's gonna get there, but I really thought it was gonna happen, and I wonder, how much of Bitcoin dumping a lot at that 70K had anything to do with SBF completely wrecking the industry at the time, like ruining Luna, ruining Three Arrows Capital, going insolvent, causing the whole domino effect. If that never happened, I wonder, I wonder if we'd actually hit that $100,000 mark in that.
Yeah, we probably would have got closer. You know, maybe it would have been 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to see those mental numbers. You know, like those round numbers, 70K, 80K, 100K, right? $1 for Doge. That's the number everyone's waiting for. But that's kind of priced in already.
Yep.
So if everyone's waiting for $1, right? People that kind of know what's going on, people that are semi-experienced, maybe they're selling at 80, 90 cents to front run that dollar. They don't think the dollar's quite coming. Your normie thinks the buck's coming. Your semi-experienced people think it's 80, 90. Your whales, people who were buying this at fractions of a penny, are saying we're done at 70. I'm getting top signal vibes.
Even if they're not trying to time it, I mean, they made a hell of a return. And a lot of these institutions that come in, they're not speculators where they go, oh, I'm going to, we made 5X, but let's try to make 10. No, they're going to sell, hit their numbers that they want to hit, their margins, and then they're going to reevaluate. Maybe it does go quadruple when they sold, but they might reevaluate and go, we can put a lesser amount in. Yeah, exactly. And then play that for higher. But we're going to secure the return for the year at least on our balance sheet.
They're not get rich quick guy. They're not, I'm dumping 5K into Doge and I'm waiting for it to hit $1 and then I'll be $1 million. They've got data for this. They've got statistics. They've got algorithms that they make money.
They're not your friend Greg who texts you and says, "Yo, you see ETH?
Yo,
you see ETH?"
He texts us. He goes, "Yo, you guys see ETH is up to 1,600? Did I see it? Guys,
I lived through it.
I live on Sol basically, but ETH, it's very similar. I know what's going on. I know."
ETH is like the most relatable crypto for anyone who's had any experience in crypto.
Yeah, it's like,
aside from Bitcoin is the most obviously aware crypto for the general population, but for someone who's in crypto in the space like he was during that run, ETH was his most interested investment, that type of coin.
Yeah, ETH was my main coin for that first run up, and then towards the top area I got into, maybe not the quite top, but towards later on I got into Solana, and I just kind of stuck with that.
Oh, once we got to Sol, I mean, you saw the gecko.
You guys seen the gec. I mean, once we got into that, we kind of had to stick with it.
So what do you got? What kind of tabs you got up there, Geg? What do we got here?
Okay, so yeah, we did a little price action here. So I do have some Crypto Slam.
Oh, NFTs, baby. I got to ask you something before we get into this.
Oh, yeah.
I know that when in this case, Sol, the native coin of an NFT project. So in this case, Sol, because we're Sol maxis, of course.
Yeah.
But
I'll pull up Sol.
When Sol has a big run up, like it did today, 17 to 20% at some point today. The price of the NFTs in Sol drops, right? Typically.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Yeah, so generally, the price, the amount of Sol, per NFT will drop. So let's go to top collections here for an example. Okay, so let's just pick an example
Some
here.
Some easy numbers. Easy floor.
Well, here we go. Here's all of them on the 7-day, right?
Oh, all of them are just taking dumps right now.
They're dropping, right? Like we see a lot of red here, and we see green in the chart. We see green in the price.
Yeah,
and then we see red in the amount of Sol, right? So DeGods, some of them hold up. Some of the blue chips hold up. Some of them can survive.
Yeah,
but
DeGods only looks -16.
Let's do geckos, for example. This is a good example because geckos kind of always follow this trend for the most part.
Not a good look, Magic Eden.
Is that ME?
Yeah.
Close a couple tabs.
Oh, but you have a new laptop, fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, this is working. This should be. All right, so let's do a month. Right, so here they were up at 41. Right, and then
It looks like a pretty big resistance for them, honestly.
yeah, 40 is pretty tough resist. So here, right. See, right here where they dropped, this has got to be a pump in the market. So January
okay.
January 13th into 14th, January 14th to 15th. Right.
Yeah. Where is that?
Here's January.
Oh, that's literally when it
right.
pumped.
Here's 14th.
Went from $17 up to about 20.
Yep. So it went from 17 to like $23.
A big jump. That was.
And then here they went from 41 SOL to 32 SOL.
Oh wow.
So a lot of the time the NFTs they kind of hover around a USD value.
So really, I guess people mostly price them in terms of stable coins, whether that like USD or whatever the case.
Yeah, it kind of like has that USD price a little bit. Like these, 30 times 20. If Sol's at 20, it's $600. If Sol bumps up to $30, we might see this drop down to like 25, because a lot of people see the pump and they want to take profits. They go, Sol's just pumped from 17 to $25. I want to take some profits. I have 30 Solana sitting there in a gecko.
Yeah.
The only way I can take those profits out and realize them is to sell the gecko and then take the Sol. So people start listing, and then they start listing lower and lower and lower.
It makes sense, right? Because they're liquidating. In this case, they might not have Sol, but they have
a gecko,
e-liquid NFTs.
Yeah,
and they start listing those NFTs to get liquidity in the coin itself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's tricky because you got to find a buyer, right? And then people start listing lower and lower and lower and lower to get that. And then it gets to the point where it's like, well, there's no point in me listing any lower, because it's not even worth it for me to list it that low. So, but that's the general trend. Prices pump, floors dip a little.
I was gonna say, if I imagine this is why I kind of like NFTs personally, because while that's true, they're like during the bull run and last time at least, you'd have instances where the coin pumped and the project pumped, and that was during the bull run. So I'm assuming, maybe it won't happen, but I'm assuming that some form of that will happen during the next bull run, where the coin pumps and the project pumps.
It can easily happen. Yeah, that's what was happening when I first got into geckos. It was happening all over the place. The floors were pumped. There was so much money, right? Because we are pumping, but we're still in the bear market.
Yeah.
There's still, what is it, 1 trillion? Okay, there's about $1 trillion
market cap
of crypto.
Yeah.
I think we were over 3 trillion during the last.
Yeah, definitely hit 3. I thought
at least around 3. I think
it makes sense, because Bitcoin right now is 22.5, so 3 times that would be
66.
Yeah, 67, 66. Yeah,
I think we were, a little over 3. So much more money was flowing into the space that these people there's just money going all over the place, like funneling in hundreds of thousands of dollars just flowing into random projects, because people were chasing those pumps so much. So it is interesting, and it is tricky, and it is a lot of timing kind of with the NFTs, right? Because if you're keeping your eye on that, you got to kind of keep your eye on some of these, if not daily, at least weekly.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to liquidate. For me personally, I barely look at them. I I think my
you're more of,
my outlook is much more in the future. So if it's a wash, it's a wash. If it's a complete loss of bag, that's for me. I'm not. I don't need the money, so I'm just trying to let it sit.
Yeah.
But if you really need to liquidate, you have to pay attention.
Yeah,
like
if you're trading like consistently on the NFTs, you need to pay attention. Yeah. It's tricky. I'm still learning. It's like, because I kind of forgot. I was like, okay, I have some Solana. Let me, get a couple more projects that I think are going to do well. But it would have actually been better if I just held the Solana, right? I have 30, let's say I had 30 Solana.
Yeah.
And I bought a gecko for 30. Well, let's say I bought a gecko for 35. And then I'm like, yeah, I like the geckos. I think they're going to do well. And then Sol pumps, but the gecko floor actually drops down to 25 or 30. So my gecko's actually, it's worth less. It's worth more money, but it's worth less Sol.
Yeah.
Let's say I paid 35 for a gecko last week. If I wanted to sell it now, I'd probably have to sell it around 30.
It's a catch-22 too, because like if you want to, at least the way I view it, I'm trying to get as much coin as I can. I'm trying to, I'm not trying to get as much USD. I'm here. My mindset is be here for a few bull runs. So the more coins you get, and I assume that those coins are going to exist and be worth more in the future. So as long as I have more coins, that means more USD in the future than it is today. And so I think, like if you sell your NFTs while the USD price is pumping, you're losing out on that coin. You're getting less coin but more USD for it, basically.
Yeah. So it's tough, and then it'll be interesting to see how some of this goes when there is tons and tons of money flowing in, and which NFT projects see that liquidity.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really, I did see some of these on the first run up, but I was just super new to it. So we'll have to wait and see. We got Crypto Slam.
That's always a good one.
This one I kind of check to see what's going on, what's hype, what's pumping. So this is NFT sales volume.
Oh, it's going ballistic.
For 24 hours. So 25 mil on ETH, 5 mil on Solana, 420K on Cardano.
Do they have historical charts on this? So it was Cardano 425, and then
we could go all time. Let's go 30 days.
I'm trying to see if they have, do you know what the peak bull run was for NFT value?
Yeah, I could find. I think they do have that somewhere.
I can't believe people still trade on NFTs on ETH. I mean, I can believe it, obviously. There's a lot of good projects on there, but you would think if you're starting a new project, the gas fees, I mean, right now they're cheap, right? But
they're pretty cheap right now,
when we tried to get into these projects on ETH back in 2021, it was like the gas fees were they would just eat you alive.
Yeah, the gas fees are tough. There's more money there.
Yeah.
Right? There's right, like the past 30 days, about 700 million volume in ETH NFTs. And then 150 million in Sol, which is Sol's not that really far behind, but there's 4.5 times the money, 5 times the volume.
I mean, even the bull run to itself, I mean, ETH just goes ballistic. So
ETH just has more money, more liquidity, big money. If you launch a project, there's just a lot more liquidity. Like, are you going to launch a project on Panini?
I can't believe that has 2 million in sales. Like what kind of chains are these?
I don't know. Let's go. All right, let's go back to 24 hour.
I'm gonna grab a drink while you.
Yeah. Go for it.
Some time.
Panini's had 90K in the past 24 hours. I don't know. Tezos, 80K. Avalanche, 70K. Wax, 60K.
Panini, like what the fuck?
Like what is it? What is it? Let's take a look. Panini's blockchain technology, developed using the Sawtooth Hyperledger, allows collectors to own or sell Panini NFTs the same way they would for a Panini physical trading card. Guys, we don't know. We don't know.
I think you just said
We don't know.
probably the most bullish thing, and then you go, you don't know. This guy goes, oh, trading cards, this and that with this. I really hope I don't eat my words when I say what the F is Panini.
Panini flip Sol during the bull run.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. We clearly have to do some research on it because I've never heard of that thing. That is crazy.
That's another thing that's like you were saying before about ETH. Like when large investors, venture capital money, big tech companies, when they start dipping their toes in crypto and they start investing in blockchain technology, who are they going to start looking at? They're going to start looking at the big players, the guys who have proven themselves, the guys who have been here, the guys who aren't falling down the charts. ETH is there. It's been there. It's going to be there for some time. Yeah. It's been number 2 for so long, right? You got BNB, just very stable, very strong, hasn't had any issue. It's been in the top 5 forever. XRP, Cardano, right? Solana. That was one of my big issues with Solana was that, yeah, the fundamentals are there and the community's there. It's just we got wrecked so bad from FTX.
Oh yeah,
that we were moving out of the top 20, and it's like I'm gonna stay on Sol, but it's like if we kept going, if we went to 25 or 30, we're not really gonna get a second look from a lot of the big money that's flowing into the crypto space over the next year or two.
Yeah, and Sol specifically, I mean, there's a lot of FUD around it, but.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and there still is kind of like, because I think the whole point of, and we'll just recap it in case someone doesn't know, but a lot of the Sol coins was influenced and bought and held by SBF, and now they have to liquidate those coins in order to pay their creditors and the other debts that they have. So presumably there's gonna be a huge dump of Sol, but realistically, when that's gonna have to go to bankruptcy court. That's gonna take years to even liquidate. Number one, and then number two, that doesn't change the fundamentals of Sol being a good blockchain. I mean, you just pulled up the chart saying Sol had the second most transactions in NFT sales, just NFTs, not even other aspects, at below ETH by about a quarter. Now, they have Google working with them, partnering them as a cloud platform. They have Helium Coin and other projects building, like who have strong foundations and really novel things they're doing, building coins on top of that blockchain. And then you have NFTs, which we know Sol is the go-to. Okay. Yeah. I mean, ETH realistically is, but for me and Gig, Sol's it. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's clear here. It's ETH or Sol. I mean, look, Polygon has great tech, and I'm sure they have great projects and communities, right? But if you're looking for NFTs, it's ETH or Sol right now are the top dogs. I mean, they've done 5 times the amount of volume, but we've done almost the same amount of transactions.
Yeah.
So right, it's smaller transactions.
And it makes sense because someone who creates a project on Sol could potentially, because the transaction fees are less than pennies. Like they're just fractions of pennies. So if you're starting a project on Sol, potentially that project could have a market cap of $10 and still operate.
Yeah.
On ETH, with the amount of gas fees, that's impossible. The market cap has to be higher in order for it to even operate.
To even make sense. It's
Yeah.
gotta at least wash those transaction fees. Yeah, like you can have a smaller size project on Sol. You can have an idea. You can have a smaller size project, and you can launch it on Solana. I've met several people doing that. It's great for that. There's not going to be as much liquidity, but it's great for that. But the main point I was getting at was Sol, like I said, was moving towards 20. Now it's the good news is it's back. It's in the top 10.
Yep.
Right?
Just
so
beat Polygon again.
Maybe
they were duking it out for a little bit.
Maybe it goes 11, 12, 13, right? But if we can stay up here near 10, 11, maybe even go back to 8 or 9 at some point, right? Like, we're going to be getting some serious eyeballs on us.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be it's going to be really tough to get a lot of some of that big money flowing in if we're at 25, 30. But who knows? I could be wrong because, look, Google started buying. Google said, I don't care. I want Sol. Care. They said, I want Sol. I don't care what it is. We're looking at fundamentals. We're not looking at pumpamentals right now. We're looking at can we run a ton of transactions? How much data does Google have?
Too much.
They want to be able to run the transactions. I'm just speculating, right? If Google launches some sort of technology or software through a blockchain, what's fast, cheap, and can handle tons and tons of transactions? Solana's one of those. I mean, Polygon's probably good with that too. Another one that actually I think was slept on just because of it was...
Oh, I almost spit up my beer when I looked at this one.
When you looked at Aptos and it said 41.7.
I couldn't believe it.
You went, whoa, gig. You still have those Aptodes?
Do they have good tokenomics? I mean, personally, Aptos for me was a joke. It came out of nowhere. Everyone on Twitter hyped it up. It was supposed to replace Solana essentially, like unspoken. That was just kind of the hype it was given. And then some few projects launched on it. It didn't really meet the hype, and then they kind of dissolved. And then out of nowhere, Aptos hits this all-time high today, or I guess its all-time high technically isn't that high since it started at like 14, but it immediately dumped. But it has never sustained a price at this high for this long.
Yeah, I mean this thing was after everything settled down. This thing was $5-6. This thing was $5-6, right? And it was sitting around there. And I worked with I dealt with a couple projects with a project that was building on Aptos, and it was similar to Solana. The UI, right? The user interface was smooth. It was similar to Phantom. It was literally quicker. It was literally faster than Solana. You know, when you send on Sol and it takes a few seconds, maybe if it takes slow, it takes 10 seconds. It's pretty quick. Aptos was even quicker. It was like 1 second.
Instant.
And it's like, all right, it's cool. But it's a lot of just the quick run up with the NFTs. It was a lot of just BS NFTs, people trying to suck liquidity out. And it just wasn't a great vibe in the beginning.
I just would like to know, because it dumped similar to the whole, the chart. If you're listening and not watching, the chart is similar to just every crypto in chart.
Yeah,
it just went and dumped around November, October that time. Stayed that bottom for maybe a few months to January, and then just pumped recently.
Yeah.
And so I'd be interested to know. If it's pumping on speculation, if there's some tokenomics to it that actually gives it some value, or
I think
if there's some partnerships. I mean, I didn't hear anything. I just was not paying attention to this after that. After the whole hype phase, I knew that this was going to be an absolute hype coin that went jumped, but it came back. So
I think, and this is just speculation, but this guy I watch on YouTube, this guy Ivan. And he's one of the most reliable guys, right? Because last bull run How many different YouTubers did we watch?
Too many.
Too many. There's only like one or two that I still will sit and watch through this bear market that I can still trust. And Ivan's one of them. Ivan on Tech. And he said he's working on a project on Aptos. And I'm telling you, this guy was this guy was building on ETH like 5-6 years ago. And I think if he's building something on Aptos, it's the tech. I believe the tech may be decent, right? The hype, the stupid pixel NFT art. Like I wish I had the screenshot of it.
Yeah.
It was literally app the top 10. We have a video on the channel. It was like app. It was app toads, app bulls, app monks, app apes,
and apes.
It was app. Everything was just. It was just cash grab. Not all, but a majority of it was just low quality, quickly rip-offs, and it was just like it was kind of off-putting. But the tech may be there. This may end up being something people build on just because of how quick it is. And
yeah, I mean, it's obviously hype for a reason. I mean, maybe the founders dished out a bunch to influencers and said, pump this coin to hell, but to all hell. But the point is, I guess, that there actually is value. There's utility in it, and I knew that. But I'm wondering if there's something extra, like some tokenomics, or if there's some upcoming projects that are going to be announced. And I'll have to do some research on it. I really just put this in the back burner.
Should we just search Aptos?
Yeah, let's see if they actually have something going on here. If it's just a bunch of moon boys.
Aptos.
Yeah, no. Just a few retweets.
Let's see if there's anything. What are your favorite dApps in Aptos? Aptos. Developing on Aptos just got easier. How might this improvement impact you? Oh, okay. It's like a thing.
I don't see anything in
this
particular.
This is
dev
to back end for me.
Yeah, this is some dev work on the screen. It doesn't seem like there's been any announcement, at least. It's just kind of speculation up to this point that brought the price that high.
We'll see. There's some people building on it, but it's kind of too tough to know what's going on. Morales. Okay. Yeah. Morales. Ivan works on Morales, so maybe they're working with them. That could be something to do with it.
Morales.
Yeah, so we'll see. Pumped. Right? Because what are your right now, we're in the bear. We've been here for a couple of years. We're trying to start stacking things that we know are going to be here long term that we can kind of just let sit for 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Now we're going to take advantage of the bull run by for sure. We're going to grab what we think is going to pump to certain extents, depending on each person. Will I start grabbing some more Doge? Probably.
Yeah.
At 8 cents, I think it's going to go to $1. I think. All right, I'll take the quick 10x. Call it a night.
No problem. And you know what? Doge has led the bull run, the last 2 bull runs.
Yeah. People who are, meme coins, they get a bad rap sometimes, but they helped drive. Doge and Shiba helped pull the market up.
Yep.
The amount of liquidity that flew into Doge and Shiba at a rapid pace, a lot of that flows back into ETH and Bitcoin. So it's great to see those pump. We respect the pump.
It's great because those meme coins, like you said, they're the gateway drug for crypto. That and Bitcoin. I feel like Bitcoin is the gateway drug in terms of like you're most familiar with that term. Look at that.
This is where Greg bought.
I know.
Wait.
I should have shorted that thing, man.
I can't even click it. This is where Greg bought 70 cents. I sold most of my Doge early, but I'm glad I did.
I'm such a utility guy. I never buy these meme coins, but I bought them in the bear market. They're so cheap. I'm like, I know It leads the bull runs. It's the first thing to pump before it goes, because everyone knows about Bitcoin now. Maybe they don't know what it is, but people buy Doge. Okay,
you can just tell. Like what's one thing that I still struggle to wrap my head around it, but people do it, and your normies are gonna do it on the next run up. They go, oh, I bought 10,000 Dogecoins. I own 10,000 Dogecoins. I'm like, oh, if you're getting started, because when we're at the top of the market, every other person is going to be talking about crypto.
Absolutely.
Maybe they're not invested in it, but they've heard about it. They've heard about Doge. It's on SNL. A lot of people are talking about it. I saw a guy at the flea market, and he was talking about, like, I had an Ethereum shirt. I had my Ethereum shirt on.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about crypto, and he was like, "Oh, I'm buying like this Safe Moon thing." And I'm like, "You should probably just." I was like, "My advice would be, if you're new, to just start buying Bitcoin and just start buying Ethereum and just start buying as much of that as you can, and then just dabble with the other stuff." He's like, "Well, I bought a million Safe Moon tokens. I have 1 million of them. So if it goes to 1 penny, I'll have $10,000 or something, whatever." He's like, maybe he said I have 100 million Safe Moon tokens. So if it goes to a penny,
then he has $1 million.
I'll have $1 million.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's mentality is with
Coins,
Doge,
whole coins. Yeah.
With Doge, there's still people to me that say Bitcoin's too expensive. It's I can't afford a Bitcoin. It's $20,000. It's too expensive. I can buy a few thousand Dogecoins though, and feel good, because when that goes up, I'll have a bunch of them. There's no point in me buying a tiny chunk of Bitcoin, right? The mindset of some people. That's why Doge is so good too, and Shiba's so good too with that, because
absolutely.
Why do you think Bonk? Why was Bonk such a low price? That's part of it too. Bonk was, you could buy a billion Bonk.
All of these meme coins have the same psychological strategy, which is they're so cheap, people buy them to have millions or hundreds of coins, and then they think, like, if the coin reaches X amount, well, that's easy math to figure out I have this much. And well, it seems stupid. I mean, I think Doge is actually here to stay. Like, I think there will be a use. It's a community-driven coin. I mean,
Doge is just a staple.
It is. It's next to Bitcoin up there.
It's a store of value at this point, basically.
It's trusted too. I mean, it's not owned by. I mean, there's a few. I think that's the only thing concerning about it too. Is I think it's like 26% of the supply or something like that. Don't quote me on it. It's something crazy like that though. It's owned by whales.
By a couple wallets.
yeah, like 5 wallets own 26%. But those wallets aren't owned by the creator of Doge. Those are just early adopters that just have had those Doge coins, and so. It's more trustworthy to people too, because it's like, well, it's just like Bitcoin. There's no CEO.
No.
There's no.
And it's been around.
It makes so much sense, because if you're gonna spend crypto on something, you're not gonna spend something that's valuable, like that has utility, like you're not going to spend your digital gold Bitcoin. You're going to spend $1. You're going to spend your $1. And the crypto equivalent of that is Dogecoin.
Yeah, you could just, you can sell sell off your Doge, and that was my thing. I sold most of my Doge on the pump, and I'm like, all right, like I can just get more Bitcoin or get more Ethereum or bring it to USD or a stable coin or something like that. Like I don't feel this attachment to Doge as much as I do like having Bitcoin or something like that. Because realistically, we want to hold our Bitcoin
forever.
Like we basically just don't even want to sell it.
Nope.
Because by the time we want to sell it for USD, we're gonna just use the Bitcoin. What do I want to buy? I want to buy NFTs, or I want to buy metaverse land. or I want to buy, art for my meta home.
Yep.
I can just probably do it through Bitcoin. I don't even need the USD anymore.
No, I mean you wouldn't
You wouldn't need it.
No.
Would we need it?
Absolutely not.
I don't think I'd need it that much.
Well, folks, I think maybe we should kind of wrap the first podcast up.
Yeah, what did you guys like? You guys like it? Let us know what do you want? What topics? We're gonna try to get this more scheduled, more organized. Let us know. We're bullish.
Absolutely bullish.
This is the NFT Crypto Crew, guys. If you liked our first in-studio 2-man podcast, be sure to subscribe. We appreciate all you guys. This is the NFT Crypto Crew. It's Gig and Tyler. Bullish. We will see you very soon. Very, very soon. Bullish.
I mean, I'm dumping money into Coinbase right now.
I'm buying Doge right now. And Shiba.